Hey, how you doing? Welcome to another chapter of Comments from the Peanut Gallery. We are here, last day of the year, 2020. Last night I watched I watched a presentation from, the group that was involved in it in Arizona was We the People, and then there was one other bunch that were there. But they were presenting their findings on the voter registration rolls that they found in Arizona, tracking down individual names, going house to house and tracking it down house to house. Did you vote? Does this person live here? Does this person live here? Does that? And they might have 10 or 15 names of registered voters at one residence, and there's only one person that's lived in the house, and they don't know any of the other names that they are presented on the list. Okay, so it's first-hand knowledge stuff where they're presented, where many affidavits were filled out about first-hand information. So they would take, in Arizona, these workers, volunteers, all volunteers, they were taking this list, going house to house with a list of suspected weird amounts of people at a house that were registered to vote. Sometimes they'd find that the list of people went attributed to a lot that was a department store or a polling station where nobody lived ever. Okay, or some of them were addresses that were at a vacant lot, and supposedly 6 people lived at a vacant lot, or state property that's just land out in the middle of no place. So they were tracking these down, and there's thousands and thousands of them. Turns out that those addresses, or the mailers that would go out to them. And this is where I want to talk to you about a game of follow the money, honey. So the ballots would be sent out to this address, and when they come back, well, they were asked, well, where did these ballots go if they come back? Because they go out there and they're sent out. Nobody's there. Where did they go to? And this is where it gets interesting. Now, they didn't go this direction with their presentation last night, but I wondered, what's the point of sending them out if they just go back to the post office, the dead letter bin at the post office? Because they're sent back to the dead letter bin. So I'm talking to camera girl as this thing is going on, and we're discussing where the motivation of people, okay? Money, sex, power, primary motivations of people, and where they're going, what they're doing, and this thing of, so they're going to the dead letter bin. And I wondered last night, who has access to this dead letter bin? So this morning when I get up, I get on the computer, and I'm tracking it out, and I find that in the post office, they got like 633,000 employees nationwide. They have career employees, and then you have basically part-time people, or they're not career employees. They're there for short time, maybe a year, maybe this. Well, it turns out that those temp employees are the ones that have access to the mail. They're the ones that either deliver it or transport it or shuffle it from one place to the other. The average time that they are on the job, okay, they got a total of 633,000 employees in the post office, 134,000 that are in this temp or part-time, And out of those 134,000, their job life expectancy, how long do they stay at the job? 40% of those that are these temp employees are there for only 81 days average. Short time. Now, this stuff that goes to the dead letter bin, and this is where I would like some feedback and input, the stuff that goes to the dead letter bin, that these guys have an opportunity. They're handling it. And they're not very high on the totem pole of how much they get paid. And some people are willing to do illegal, illicit, immoral to get a few extra bucks. So this stuff that's sent out and comes back, it's all being done for a reason. Somebody is moving it, and somebody has a purpose. Somebody in that money, sex, power list has a motivation to do something. Now, like Zuckerberg, he put $400 million into the elect Biden campaign. And that's more than $2 per potential voter across this country, more than. And of that, most of that money was concentrated in a very tight spots, okay, very few locations. So there's this money out there. Who grabbed it up? Who was, follow the money, honey? Who was gathering it up and how? That's where I got to looking this morning and go, okay, there's temp employees with the post office, and they are the ones that have access to the mail. There's 4 categories of these temp employees, and they all have access to bulk mail. They handle it by the bag, by the bucket, by the whatever. So, is there somebody out there amongst all of you watching this? Is there somebody out there that has more information about how this works? Do you think that in there that they could grab them and either fill them out for a price, sell them for a price? There's a lot of things we have found that over the past couple of months, people doing really treasonous things. How much, it might not be the postmaster that's doing it, but all of these other guys, all of the other male, female, don't make any difference. All these others that had access to it and to make a few extra bucks, what do you think? I'm looking for some opinion, some insight, somebody that had first-hand knowledge, I'm curious. So, well, this is, I think it gets a little more interesting this next week. But for right now, I'll just say, enjoy the New Year, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. Trump won. He won by a landslide.